Hey guys, how's it going? My name is ISC, or I swear Chris, as I'm known on a few different platforms. Today I'm going to be doing some updating on a track that I haven't touched in many months, and the reason that I haven't is because I was not really that big on the changes that people wanted for it. Not people, but like, you know who wanted for it. And I've been thinking about it. What matters more to me on some of these updates and trying to get the tracks to like a workable state is not them, but more about getting the track in at all. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at a lot of feedback for this track that I saw in multiple threads. There was a GSC thread for this at one point. There was a lounge poll at one point for this track, and I still think it has an enormous amount of potential and is probably my best track or close to. I have a lot of tracks I really like, and this one I think if I do it enough justice will be probably my most successful track. So what I need to do is I need to do some things about a few key areas and specific things. The entire point of this is going to be probably me recording for a few hours. So you can feel free to skip through and look around if you want to, or you can watch me as I talk about it and make mistakes and try and play around with it. But I think for the big thing is I'm going to be testing a lot of stuff. The major thing that I want to do is numero uno, this tube. This tube, I love this tube. I think it's very creative and unique and would add a lot to the track. But the complaint that I heard the most about it was it's too janky, and they also don't appreciate that there's a big fall. So I think it's a very cool concept, and I would like that to stay. But I think in order to get into CTGP or have the most like generalized kind of view for it, removing it is probably the go-to. So I think I need to do is just straight up delete it. Like in general, one of the issues with this track is IPB, and that means that it's so big and so massive that when you're driving it, and you try to drop items online, they despawn because the game only checks within a certain amount of range for the track itself, where you drop items. So once you're outside of that range, then the items just don't exist anymore. The game just gets confused. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is probably just going to go through and add in an extra section of the track in some way around here. What I'm thinking is either just a straight drop off into the city, like it emerging into the city from this area, or having some kind of like transition section. But I think just straight up having it go into the city is probably better. I'll have to realign it and probably remodel some shit. Like what I want to do is do something for the city section. I'm not entirely certain what yet, but I feel like attaching the city in a better way is probably part of the answer too, making it so that the city fits in the context of the track better. And also one of the concerns of the city section was that it was too tight and that it would play too trappy and too much like DKR Star City. That was the comp opinion on it. So what I need to do is find some way to make it so that that's not a problem. The other complaints that I heard, too much boost, but that's a general complaint, and I'm not even sure it applies on this track that much, because there's not really that much boost. There's like 7 flip ramps in the entire track, and it's like a 3-minute long track in its current incarnation. But yeah, so my assumption is we got to remove that area. I'm trying to think what else we got. I got the great section might be unsatisfying with the spiral. I think that's fine. I actually think it's kind of good for the track. The reason they don't like it is back spams, theoretically, which kind of makes sense. The giant steep uphill seems really forced and can cause some really undesirable effects. I'm not sure what section they're talking about. Highway section seems good. I think the highway's fine too. So the boost mushroom thing. Let's see. Yeah, I think people didn't like the tunnel, or that was like a contentious section, so I'm just gonna completely remove it. And then I need to do something for this tunnel or this city section, presumably. I might just straight up like remodel the entrance into it completely or something. Maybe remodel a few areas. But I'll probably do that, honestly. I think because I think the idea of it is extremely good. I just need to make it less cramped too. And I also probably need to retexture the entrance in here too. The other thing I need to do is make these trees look higher poly probably and distribute them throughout the track better. I need to do that. I just need to play with a lot of design elements because I think one of the concerns was the visuals were not good enough for what people wanted. So if I can figure out some ways to introduce more visual design, that will help too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and, can I select similar material for this? Or grouped? I guess I can do select linked material. Let me hide all of this. Oh shit. Well, not that, but I guess I can do select similar. Isn't there like a similar, select grouped or select linked object data? No. Well, what I'm going to end up doing is probably remodeling all of these trees. Like, let's just do that now. What I want to do is create like a general tree that I can place throughout the track in a few different quantities. Let's just do something very simple. What I'm going to do is I'll do a cylinder like this, and I'll lower the count on it probably to like 10. Nah, probably even more than that. Let's do like 8. We'll do 8, and then I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to scale out the bottom. But yeah, my goal with this track is to try to make one of the best tracks that I possibly ever can. So, and I'm getting kind of annoyed because I'm getting rejected for things that feel like out of my control. And it kind of hurts because like, I don't even understand them half the time, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's a good for a stump. What I need to do now is cursor selected. I'm going to add a icosphere. Or I guess I could do not icosphere, probably just like a what do you call it? Oops. Well, I just screwed that up. Well, it's fine. But add a what is it? UV sphere. Let's do UV sphere. I'll play around with a lot of stuff, so expect like quite a few mistakes to be made in the process, and that's part of the fun. But yeah, the whole general idea of this, I'm gonna do even less than this. Let's do 8 and 6 rings. That's still a lot, but I think that's fine. Essentially, I want to make this track. I have an idea for what I want to do for theming with this track even more, because the whole idea of this track is to be a heartfelt story about trying to find a way through suffering too. That's part of why I made this track originally, as stupid as it sounds. That's why I do a lot of the tracks that I make too, is to try to help people. So if I can figure out a way to get some of these tracks in there, regardless of what people tell me about them, that'd be really good. Let's do proportional editing and pull out a lot. Yeah. Like to there. We'll do something like this, and then I want to scale it out a little more. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to scale up both these together. Yeah. And then I'm going to use this texture, which is called, what is it called? I'm going to remodel a lot of stuff, probably, in various sections to try to make things look even better. It's called background trees. Yeah, it's essentially, I want to, like, loop that around it in some way, if I can. I'll be playing with a lot of stuff in this model, so expect that. Let me go to UV editing. Jump to it. And I want to do, boom. Select all. Let me do, I'm not going to use this texture for it. I'm going to use, I think I have a wood texture. See, this track is so old that I don't even know what I have in here right now. But if I can find out the right way to make this track look, I'll be really happy. I have ideas in my head for what I want to do. I specifically want to do, like, sections, I think it might be called, like, mud. Actually, mud/tree, yeah. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. And then UV unwrap cube. Beautiful. I'll show you what I want to do in a bit. I think that's actually pretty good. This, I'm going to do select all, and then we're going to do take all of this and scale it up like 8 times or something, I think. Or I could even do like leaves. If there's like leaves, I think I might have a good texture for that. That's not good. Background trees, no. If I find the right, like a good texture for leaves, I'll play around with it too. Um, hmm. What is the grass texture? Like, if I can find like a good kind of tree to use here, I'm gonna be playing with a lot of stuff again. So if I just like make mistakes along the way, just kind of expect it. Uh, because it's gonna be way more exciting to try a lot of random shit too. I know exactly what I want to do it for, like making this track feel like way more alive too. I'm gonna add a light map. I'm gonna try to vertex color some shit if I can. And the big thing I want to do is I think the layout was really good. I still think it was super good. I think the only concerns were like in terms of space and like in terms of maybe one or two sections not being more controversial, which is kind of annoying. Because for me, again, I don't think they're really. I have to discern who's on my side with this one, right? You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna try this. Let me edit mode. I want to subdiv this in the middle. And then I want to pull up the edges while keeping the center. Like that. Then extrude Z, scale out. Do like that, I guess. Lower it a little bit. Oh no. I have to do this like very particularly. Well, how do I want to do this actually? I guess what I can do is like have like different faces on it. I'll try a few different tree designs, but if I can get this to look semi-realistic, that will be what I want to go for. Because I want this track to have an extra meaning that I'm going to add to it in designing it. What I'll try right now is duplicating these and like I normally did on Gallant Grotto, I did trees that were shot off. I liked that, but I feel like that kind of grows stale after a little while. So if I just YOLO it and try some random shit, we might be actually pretty good. I'm gonna try and see if I can come up with a good tree design. I want to rotate these a few times, and what I want to do is join them all together. Give them a leaf texture of some kind, which I might just add a leaf texture for this. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a new texture, call it leaves. I'll find that one from like pretty much anywhere. I think Mario Kart 8 has some textures that I could use, or even let me find a good one. I think the one from I think there's maybe some in GP Deluxe too. But yeah, essentially what I'm going to be doing is remodeling a lot of the trees, adding some trees around the track that look very realistic, or at least semi-realistic. And the whole point of this track that I want to create is this nighttime ambience, but I also want it to feel more of a revelation because I've been discovering a lot about myself lately too. And I think trying to just capture that in a track that's very heartfelt and from my soul will be much better than anything else. I honestly, again, I don't really care about what's happening around the community around me that much right now. It could be amazing, it could be horrible. I honestly don't really care. But yeah, if I duplicate this a few times, try different scales and like different rotations, we might actually have something pretty good, I think. Duplicate 0, just rotate it. Yeah. And then I'll rotate this upside down. Yeah, I think this is what I want, essentially. Scale it out a little bit. Rotate it along the Z. I actually think this is pretty good. Scale it in a little bit. Rotate it some more. In fact, I want to duplicate, like, one more up top. I think this will work. And then like duplicate Z to there. I'm gonna shrink this in a little bit and rotate it a little more in this direction. I think this will work. I'm gonna have to like select all of these, join them, select linked, material, join, and then I'm gonna scale it up some. Grab it up a little bit. and duplicate one more time. This time rotating it if I can. Maybe scaling it down a little bit too. There you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, just so we can see what we're looking at, I'm going to be using, there's a way to viewport display it so that you don't have to look at any of the blackness around it. Because this is like, the black in these is where it's supposed to be transparent, and you can't normally see it, because Blender doesn't really default to that normally, but you just drag the alpha to the alpha in the shader here, after you set up those settings, and then boom, suddenly you see through it. But yeah, I think what this is going to take is, it's actually kind of getting there. Let me duplicate one more time and see if what I want essentially is it to almost look like there's just no, that's actually kind of close. 0. And rotate 180. That's fairly good, right? Select linked material. Join. What if I do... This is crazy. Subdiv? I just want to see what this looks like, too. This is actually kind of close. Because the hope is to create it so that it kind of looks like a big ball. What would 2 subdivs look like? See, that looks really good, right? I just got to make it so it looks like pretty consistent all the way through. The problem is if I subdiv it twice, it's going to add a lot of poly count, which is not what I want. Like, I want it to be pretty simple, right? Because right now, this is how many tries? 200? And if I do subdiv surface 1, it's probably going to add another couple hundred, right? Yeah. I think it's fine, though. It depends on how many of these I want throughout the track, and I could probably use variations, to be completely honest. So, you know what? It's probably fine, to be honest. So, let's use this as my, like, base tree for now. And I want to replicate this throughout the track in various places. I think what I should do is go for, like, just go for it, you know what I mean? Just try my ass off to make something that looks very engaging and forever. Because what I want to do, my goal, and I know it sounds stupid, I want to make one of the best tracks ever. I really don't care at this point, dude. I've been through too much where worrying about if people care about me, I've been through enough to know that it's not really that important versus just giving out what I can, the best that I can. I think I can do linked object data. I swear there's like a way to, maybe it's just like select linked material and then I can just like, oh, well. How about is there, yeah, select linked material. And then deselect the stuff that isn't counted in there. And then we'll be golden. Yeah. Oh, I see. Well, no, I don't actually. Why did it select that? But yeah, one of the other complaints was more of a desire for there to be crystal theming and like meteor theming, or like just more theming in general. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell a story with this track, and I want to capture a mood of. I really want to capture this mood of feeling like you want to persevere through everything no matter what, not giving up even when people want you to fail. Because I've been through so much shit. It sounds dumb, but I've been through so much shit that I want to help people, dude. Right now, more than ever, I really want to help people. Help them find a home, you know? Because right now, I've been through so much that there's no reason to give up. There's really not. I think doing these videos to help me feel more confident while I'm doing it will help too. But yeah, essentially, if I can copy If I can make some of these more 3D or more realistic in the track, have this approach of like having more realistic looking trees here and there, I think that will help a long way too. I need to remodel some shit to simplify the train a little bit. I think the main road is great. I think the main road is really good in terms of how it functions. That's this very unique element. I like that I added it. This element of what's it called? Slippery road? I thought that was a very fun idea. But yeah, I'm going to try to use all my modeling techniques that I've learned so far too to try to create this really unique ambience with the track. There's a sub-theme of having this like cave story attachment throughout it too, because Cave Story is one of my favorite games of all time. It talks about something very similar in its storytelling about trying to move forward no matter what, even when people around you are dying, even when you're alone, even when you've got nobody but yourself. And honestly, I think we need more games that tell such beautiful stories in general. That kind of heartfelt approach. It means so much, you know? Because even if I can help just one fucking person out there who's struggling, or find one person who's feeling the same way that I am, you know? That's what matters to me, ultimately. So yeah, let's tell a good fucking story, you know what I mean? Let's make some people feel happy too. Let's share some happiness. But yeah, I'm making this video essentially to start on this update and show progress as I go through it. First thing is going to be, I'm turning off snapping for now. Stop it. There you go. But yeah, I'll scale it up more. I really want there to be like these kinds of thematic set pieces too. I have some ideas for what I want to do. It really depends. I think the major thing is going to be selling some of the ideas of the track. Especially this whole like angle of the meteors and the angle of like the nighttime driving aspect. That was one of the things that I wanted to do. Somebody said that they felt like it felt really rushed, and that kind of sucks because that's not what I intended at all. This track took me like months already. That's what I mean, is like every track that I've worked on has substantial amounts of effort put into it. So I think making videos where I'm just like showing the effort will probably help to kind of disseminate that for what it's about. But yeah, I think light mapping this track will go a long way. I might even like remodel some of this intersection or add something in here. Not really sure. Probably add something here. But yeah, a few more trees that are just 3D and properly modeled will go a long way, I bet. Let me up the viewport display so it like doesn't bug out anywhere really fast. There you go. So it's going to be dealing with this city connection. I might just straight up have it go into the city, or I might remodel part of this turn. I honestly really liked that entire area up until there. I like this curve. I still like this curve. I think it's going to be controversial, but I think this is a really good element of the track. And the reason I say it is there's nothing else that plays anything like this in any track, especially with the capacity you have to be able to skip this particular trick ramp. If I can have that be like an actual part of the strat, is like cutting this turn really tight, if you know how to do it correctly, that would be so fucking fire. I loved that element of the track, so... but yeah, I assume I just need to model more of this like city and make it look more realistic. Probably open up a little more space. I might even like remodel the entrance. That's probably what I'll do. The other thing is gonna be like I'm planning as much as I can here. The shortcut needs to be less strong, obviously. I think in this version I already brought it in where it's more like I made some changes and alterations here and there. But I think there's still one or two major ones that need to happen. Essentially, I want to dig into the theme and the design a little more. Because I really think this would be like one of the best tracks in CTGP, like almost assuredly if I do it right. Because there's not a single track in the pack that is even remotely like this. And I need to remember that I have the potential to make tracks that can fucking change a lot of things for them. I don't even care about them. I just care about people with these tracks, you know what I mean? And me. I care about me. I want to feel good while I'm making tracks. So the more that I can feel happy while doing it, the better, right? So let's see. I think the city is completely fine. I don't even want to change anything about the city section if I can keep it intact. But I need to read like what the summary says specifically. It probably would say specifically to change that. So I'm gonna look at the summary really fast. I'll pull it up and read some of it too. There's gonna be a lot of this that happens. I think I have it in the history somewhere. So let me pull it up if I can find it. Uh, it was rejected back in like I want to say it was rejected back like 3 or 4 months ago. But yeah, I think if I open up this door to showing off like both what the process is like and why like my thought processes and everything as I'm making these tracks, it'll probably do a lot for showing them off. I submitted Wind Fortress earlier, which is also one of my favorite tracks I've released. I really like Wind Fortress a lot, and I put a lot of effort into it. It's gonna be painful because they're gonna do the thing where they're like, "Oh, it's too complicated, too complicated," even though like the community would not agree with them on that or say that at all. But it's tricky, man. Um. So yeah, I think what we can do is we'll see. So I think they say trimming through the mud in there is bad. Did I do anything for it yet? In this version, I remember like I was making changes at one point already based on the feedback. I did a lot of changes, but I think what I need to do is go back in here and see what I did so far. I think I opened it up this area, and now it's like you can drive along it more easily. Yeah. Like I rounded out some of these turns more, so they should be easier to take. Um, I'm probably gonna remodel this opening though. Like this specific section leading into this area would probably be pretty good to remodel. If I do like, what would be engaging here? I think like, because I honestly don't think a right left turn would be that exciting here. Because the one of the defining elements of that tunnel and that tube is that it feels like there's a lot of airtime. So like in my head, I had envisioned a section. I had envisioned two extra sections that didn't make it into this product. One where there's trick ramps on a really massive open grassy section with multiple hills where you can trick between them. That was one thing that was in my head, and the other thing that I had in my head was a section that I kind of emulated here. I did part of it. You would basically be going along a massive mountain stretch that would lead up into this section. That was the entire idea. I just never, like, I modeled this section kind of like that. I was in my head picturing much bigger mountains here too. Like, you would be going up a mountain along it. But instead, it's kind of more open and condensed, which is kind of fine. I think it plays fine, and that's the key element to it, because not everything's to be nailed perfectly as you make them. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I will, for now, probably keep this the same way it is. I'm going to make it so that there's no half pipe along here. So it's just like regular. I think that'll be fine because there's no really good way to make use of that. And I think this turn, or these turns like that is fine if they're opened. That at least will address that problem. What I think I need to do is add to the visual design in these areas too. I guess what I can do is probably I can probably like build around this, like make the city like curve into it, or like do something to make it so that it looks like you're approaching into the city from a distance. I think that would be a good idea as well. Or make the city scary. Honestly, either would probably do the trick. Let's see. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift all this shit probably, or I can make it a trick or something. We'll see, we'll see. Whatever I do, just to make it so that like it's a natural landing in there, and that it doesn't feel forced at all. Or what do I do? I'm trying to think. Like make it look like you're entering into a city somehow. I think shortening and condensing that section would at least help. And I gotta make sure it still maintains the story like movement and kind of like a this nice feel. Because one of the things I need to do is also think about IPB and what sections I can adjust or remove. I think removing the tunnel will help a shitload for IPB because that shortens the length of it left and right a lot. But this isn't really something that I can just like figure out readily. I think the closest I got was Cobalt telling me specifically like the parameters of the size of it, but that will probably just require me to YOLO it anyway. If it's still too big, I'm gonna be so upset and sad, but we at least did our best, right? And that's worth attempting over nothing. Yeah, the major gripe seemed to be the tube and the city section in some way, if there's a way to fix it. And I think by just extending out some of the areas here and making it so that there's like more catch-up area in there, that will help. Maybe removing a boost here or there. The other thing is going to be like just making it so that this is a normal trick off of him too. Because you could do it shroomless and it was actually faster to do shroomless originally. So if I just make this like if I just make this like normal trick, you know, like just a normal bit of tricking, that'll do the trick, I think. That's what we'll do. We'll just make that a regular trick off of him, even though it'll be less satisfying. Probably. I'll probably do the trick. Because even if you could do it shroomless, it wouldn't save very much time anyway. Or I guess I could leave it as it. You know, we won't fuck around with it. I'll keep it the way that it was before, unless it needs to change. The other stuff is... So we got that. We got those changed. I need to fuck around with... See, like, part of the reason I'm making these is because I always get, like, super built up and worried when I'm making. I always feel kind of scared to do what I can. So big ramp shoots the player too far to the left. So the... Yeah, we fixed that by repositioning it, I think, in this model. I'll check, just to make sure, too. This track I want to produce an update for. Yeah, we fixed it so it's just straight. This track I want to do an update for that basically resolves all the summary feedback the best that I can. And adds a few extra elements to the track to make it more unique. And I want to do something for Cheeseland, because both of those have an insane promise, and it pisses me off because they're in difficult positions. And I don't know, it feels like Council just doesn't have faith in me. I gotta fight against the demons, everything I'm facing in the community right now. I think that's what this is about. But yeah, I think using this as like a general model throughout the track will look pretty good. And like fewer 2D trees in general. More like defined kind of these. Because if I use these in like small quantities throughout the track, I think it'll go a long way, you know? Straight up. I think they look pretty realistic too. It fits with the ambience at least. So this is pretty easy. I just want to do this after work too, because it's fun, man. I forgot how fun CT making was until recently. And God, I'm having like the time of my life with CT making again, dude. I've been able to do a lot of stuff with CTs that I didn't really expect to be able to. And I need to open up that door some more. I was trying to get into Lounge, and like Lounge itself is not for me, but like making these tracks, man, it sets my soul alight a lot of the time. So when I get the chances to, and I think making videos about it, it's gonna help. I really do. So shrink that a little bit. That in the ground. I want to put like one or two more along the edge. But yeah, I'll remodel some stuff too, I think. I actually, like one of the complaints that I saw was that this water doesn't make sense, so maybe I could give some kind of context for there being water. Like, I'm probably going to include some more subtleties in the track. If I can. Because people were complaining about it being nighttime too, I think. Well, I don't even know. I don't know if that was like a big complaint or not, but probably just a minor complaint. Some of the hard part of this is like discerning what is good and what isn't good feedback. The right path is faster. Yeah, we figured that out by just like playing around with some of it. Skipping the spiral. Yeah, I gotta fix that. Excessively bumpy is the problem, I guess. See, I think this is this is what I mean. I think this feedback of the spiral is excessively bumpy and can be easy to fly off of, and tricking off anything but the last one being a death wish. That's what I mean when I say like some of the feedback is extremely hyperbolic or silly. They get mad at me for saying it when I'm just like, you don't even believe this, do you? It's not going to help to change that. Like the best I can do, I think what I can do is probably make it less bumpy. I think that will be the answer if it's possible to. I think what I can do for that is subdiv it. If I select linked, I guess I gotta do like select similar material on this stuff. Select similar material. Or I guess, well, let's just select similar material on these. And then I will individually select these. What I want to do is probably subdiv this. I'll try to quads it and then subdivide it. Because honestly, I think a big part of this is going to be playing with visual design a lot. Because it was very close to being accepted before. I don't, again, their standards are always changing, especially lately, to the point where I don't even know if the standards are standards for anything anymore that represent anything. That's one of the things. So it may be that they just randomly decide to not accept this anymore, or just make it harder for me to get in some way. But yeah, if I can like maybe subdiv this like once or twice and just keep corners. Oh no, it doesn't like that. Simple? No. Okay, this is gonna be kind of annoying potentially. I guess maybe what I need to do is select all and try to quads it really. I don't triangulate faces, but try to quads. Or what if I do merge vertices by distance? No? Apparently that didn't do it. I thought that would do it. Maybe not then. It worked for the metal grate. A little less for the trickable parts. Although honestly that doesn't even look that bad. What the heck? If I do one instead, right? Because that actually might just do the trick. It looks a little goofy though. Let's see. But the idea is really good. I think the idea of this is super good. Let's see. I'll try this. Fuck it. You never know. It's worth YOLOing. But I think the idea of this is super good. If I can keep that intact gameplay-wise somehow, that would be really good. So we got that. I'm going to do some kind of alternate model for these like dead trees. Let's just try making something as well. Let's just try making something. That's what I'm going to do for a lot of this stuff, is just try making some shit. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? I honestly don't think that those trees look all that bad either, but I'm just here to do my best, right? I'm gonna make them look slightly different than the other ones too, if I can. Turn off proportional for now. What I'm gonna do is, and then now we can do loop cut a few different ways at different points in here. And I can keep extruding up. Probably to like around there. And now I can kind of create like these out of it, you know? That's actually, yeah. Let's try this. Let's make it, like, if I can make this, like, look semi-real. It's actually kind of cool, theoretically, right? Yeah, create some loop cuts, create some branches out of it. That's actually not too bad. I'll try to shrink some of the faces too as I go. And I'm gonna use a subdiv modifier on it. And let me even like extrude this one more time out, like that. I think this is not a bad idea for how to make these. So yeah, I'll play around with modeling like in different ways if I can. I'm like always really scared to try new stuff, to be honest with you, but let's try something like this. I think that's pretty close. Hide this, and what I'm going to use is subdiv modifier. See, like this is honestly not that far off of what I want. This would be the idea, right? Like to create like a spooky looking tree. What happens if I keep edges or keep corners? Nothing. We'll see. Uh, Let me like move this more to the side and like rotate it a little bit, actually. I guess I can grab it more. Yeah, let's do that. Try that. And then I'm gonna take and extrude one more on this side. Not down like that though. And then grab to the left. Just a little bit though. Like here, and then rotate like to there. And I think I'm gonna scale it too, quite a lot. Just in general, probably. We'll see. It's worth a try, right? Modeling like semi-realistic for a game like this is kind of hard, but that's part of the fun, right? And part of the playing around process. Like what I can do is probably create like individual things sticking out of the bottom too out of this if I want to. But yeah, more like realistic look, or like either realistic or self-made like parts of the track like this will probably go a long way. It's simple, but I think effective. And I feel like this is precisely what they want, is like me to model, you know? It's really fucking scary because again, they will make fun of you if it looks like bad in any way. But my guess is if I do something like this and make them look like dead trees and have these kind of like sprinkled around the track, that'll probably do the trick. There's one other thing I want to do, which is go to a few of these edges and like extrude them out a little bit, if possible. But like move it way down. Same thing this way. Just do it on a few of them. And these can function as like edges sticking on the outside. Kind of like roots, basically, right? I think part of this is going to be like finding a creative way to make it look as natural as possible too. That's actually not too horrible. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, if I make these look like completely dead and soulless and lifeless, because that's one of the ideas of this track too, is I want it to contrast like a really pretty and beautiful looking outside area with like a very gross and sad looking empty mechanical feel throughout the track. That was one of the ideas at least, because a lot of my tracks are based off of like empty feelings or dark feelings. And it's kind of silly because I feel like it depends on the person whether or not that resonates with them. I'll be doing a lot of videos like this too, so strap in. I think there's going to be quite a few in the future. Um, and it kind of depends on whether people like them or not, how many I do, but for me, I think it'll be worthwhile to do a lot of these because I enjoy doing this and I want to like push through it. So expect some longer form videos too, probably mixed in with some of the more like short form videos too. I know there's gonna be people that just want to see solely the finished product and don't care about the rest of the shit. So just know I'm gonna be making those too. I'll be doing a little bit of both, both final and like ongoing progress tracks. I need a different texture than this though. There's gotta be a better one. I might add one. But yeah, essentially if I can add some like dead or dying, decaying looking trees in this track in different quantities, that could also do the trick. What I might do is decimate this down in some way too. Let's see. But I don't want them to look very alive at all. And I think what I should also do, I mean, I guess I could put one or two live ones to contrast it, but I've been experimenting with like having way more stuff in my tracks as a general too. Just like pushing the game to its literal extremes of what's even capable of being produced in the game. That's one of the things I've had to do for a little while. So some of the tracks are like very high poly and on the fringe of like not working, and that's okay. I'd rather risk trying that than not. So yeah, I need to recapture that same like feeling of magic that I had earlier, probably. I think that's going to be what we have to do in order to fight against my own internal concerns, is to just keep pushing anyway. I feel like these trees are going to look fine. And what I'm going to do is use like a, what do you call it? I'm going to use light mapping on this track, so hopefully it does a decent job at capturing it. In fact, I might try something else for these trees. I'm not sure what. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'll try something else for them for now. I'll come back to it. So we got those. What I want to do is I might self-model a few other things too that could be useful for just like generic assets throughout the track. Like these lamps, I should probably just make like full-blown. If there's some way to like, what I could probably do is, let me try sequence this. Can I solidify modifier this? I guess that doesn't work, does it? It would be cool to just like solidify modifier it and then like have the edges be matched up with it, but doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe I could cut out the section of it and like, I don't know. What can I do? I could make a new model entirely for it. I guess that might not be a bad idea if I like try to replicate the actual part of it. Let's do that. Like let's just try to create this as its own model, right? Like just follow the contours of this to the best possibility that I can. Again, expect to see some imperfect modeling because I am not a good modeler, but I do my best, right? So there's going to be a lot of playing around with stuff. Yeah, this actually might kind of work. Sometimes I amaze myself because I like do stuff and I'm like, this is actually not that horrible. It kind of surprises me because that's one of the things I'm scared about in making videos and like producing tracks is like the feeling that like I'm doing a horrible job or that I won't give people what they need. essentially. Actually, that doesn't look horrible at all. In fact, it might work. So let me extrude out. I'm gonna extrude that out really hard, and then go to the top, extrude all the way out to like here, and then extrude Z and make it really tiny at top. Actually, that kind of looks okay. That's not horrible. Not amazing, but I think it will do the trick, right? And if I can just like find a good brass texture. How many tries is it though? It's like 200 or like 100. It's actually not that bad. This doesn't look that bad, to be honest. Well, let me find the right textures for it. What I should do is take this top part and make it a different texture completely. But yeah, having like 3D models for this stuff is probably the good way to do it, right? Or actually what I could do is inset these faces like that and have that part be it. That's what I'll do. I'll do light and find a texture that could match what I want. Just like a yellow. Well, let me do wood first, I guess. The darker part of it. Actually, crap. Well, let's assign all of it. Let's do light first, and then I need to find a texture that looks like the outside part, like basically just like a wooden texture. But yeah, I think a lot of this is just going to be doing it. So again, there's going to be a lot of like playing around with stuff. I might even use some of these textures from Mario Golf more because they look great. So let's see. I just need kind of a yellow texture. I think I have one of them lying around in just like dolphin or not dolphin, my document somewhere. Like that's good. It's gold. That's all I need. Oh. And then the rest of this, let me select similar here. Similar material. And then I'm gonna assign it to this, and this will be just like a new texture completely for it. But yeah, it's been fun to try to come back to it, man. It really has. I've had some good moments in it already. And my thing is, I honestly don't care the whole situation over there. I just want to have fun with it, man. I don't care. That's actually a perfect texture, I think, for what we were doing here. So let me Q project, and then like UV squares, grid by shape. Kind of works, and scale up like 8 times, maybe. Kinda. Does that look good? It's actually, I mean, that's not bad. We do like scale 4. I might add like extra detailing to it, because actually that kind of looks okay. Yeah, let me add some extra details. Like here, I want to do select, and I'm gonna add like a cone with obviously like much less vertices than this, like 8. Yeah. Grab Z, and what I want to do is shrink this down and extrude this down. Shrink it down. I guess we can play around with it in a few ways if I want. But essentially, I just want this to look like it's got like a top piece. I mean, that kind of looks alright. It's like similar material. Assign it to this. I'll call this like lamp. There you go. That's a good detail to add. Actually, that kind of looks alright. Yeah, am I crazy? I don't mind this that much. Let me extrude down a couple of faces on here if I can. And I'll add an extra detail to it. What I'll do is I'll take this that I just made and I'll find like some kind of shingled texture or like wood texture that looks like it's a looping texture that can go over top of it. That's semi-transparent, or not semi-transparent, but like just transparent. Dragon Driftway. I feel like there's got to be some kind of like texture that would fit here. Oh fuck, even this could work, honestly. Like kind of, yeah. If I do this and I just raise it, it's actually not horrible. Am I crazy? Maybe it's too out of character because it's like this game, you know. But like take this and like we do subdiv. Take all these, pull them up a little bit. Maybe. How does this look? I kind of like that, to be honest. It's stupid, but I think it'll do the trick for now. For now. So I can use this in place of the 2D lamps that I have throughout the track in various places too. But yeah, my modeling and like design, those are the elements that I think have been my weak, or have been what has been holding me back with council, which is kind of annoying. So I guess that's what I gotta improve in, or just risk. Because I think I'm like, I have the skills to do it. I have the capacity to do it. I just gotta find a way to do it. You know what I mean? And the hard part is the fight is internal. That's what this is all going to be about. It's going to be unlocking that inner potential. So, but yeah, if you guys have like any suggestions or ideas as I work on these tracks, feel free to 100% drop them. I'm going to start with feedback from council and feedback for this track. I'm going to start with feedback from council and feedback that I heard from threads and places that were out there already. And that's where I'm going to start working from, you know? But yeah, I'll do like, I'll probably make this video a little shorter, but the whole point is to just like show off what the process is like again some more and get started again, especially for updating a track, because I don't update tracks that often for CTGP purposes lately. So I should do that more and just like dedicate some time to tracks that 100% should be in, but I just couldn't pull together the strings in time for it, or just struggled with people around me at the time. We're still having our struggles, but at least this way I can do right and do justice for these tracks a little more. And then whoop. I might try to model like the fences to be 3D too in some way. But yeah, just like more 3D elements in the track will probably go a long way. Like Mario Kart Wii can handle more than I expect half the time, but slower. And then pull back. There you go. So yeah, if I just have those in place of it, I think it'll look fine. I might try a different texture for the wood, but I think that actually looks kind of not horrible. So if I do stuff like that throughout the track and just like make the track look more just more fitting to the design, it'll be good. Turn off snapping again. I'm gonna save in a second because we did a lot of progress for this too. I don't want to lose it. But yeah, I'll just like put these all in here and then save. But yeah, there's that. And then we're gonna do duplicate and drag over here. I think these being interactable too would be theoretically kind of cool. There you go. Rotate that a little bit. And then just these ones over here. I think some design like this throughout the track and just like trying to further polish it will go a long way. Even if it takes some risks, buddy, even if it requires me to YOLO it and be very afraid, that's what it will take, right? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm always scared every single time of what they're gonna say or what people are gonna say. And that's what I want to combat with this track and what I do in the community. For me as well. I fight back against it every time. And I gotta keep trying. Lower it a little bit. Okay. I think we essentially have like all of it. Pretty much. So select similar material and or linked material and just delete it. Or hide it for now. I guess I can hide it. That works out. But yeah, that'll give a nice light source that's actually 3D and looks relevant to the track. Where am I in terms of time? Been recording for an hour already. God damn. That's what I mean is time really escapes you without you knowing about it when you're working on this stuff. I'll probably keep it a little shorter like that. And just we modeled a few extra things to the track, added in some extra lighting elements to the track. What I'm going to be doing is I can probably add something to kind of represent why this is here. If I add like a waterfall or something, like that's what I was picturing in my head is some kind of spring. In fact, I can do that right now. I'll do that too because I really want to. One of the elements, like the reasons that this is here is I wanted there to be some kind of like dripping waterfall that comes from here. But I just never modeled it, so let's just try to model it. It's because I was afraid to not model it, or was afraid to model it at all. But I think if I essentially just like... Maybe I can impress myself, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I can just like blow my own brain and just like do something here for this that I wasn't expecting possible. And then extrude. Oops. Actually, let me, no, it's still fine. How do I want to do this, dude? I think what I'm going to do is break it up a little bit by having this be like, I'm going to do subdiv 1. Just 1, and maybe keep edges. Well, this is fine too. And then I can kind of just like extrude this up a little bit. Shrink it. I think if I individually extrude these up a little bit. Kind of. Yeah, actually, that's not horrible. I can play with scaling on either side here. Probably do a little bit of curvature. And I will scale out the ends of this, or extrude them out a little bit. And scale out. Kind of same deal with this. Fact. No. No. Actually, how about... Does that look too goofy? That might look a little goofy. I guess what I could also do is... No, this is fine. What I'll do is this, and then I will do sculpting off of it the other way. Can I do like sculpt sharp? Yeah. I want to add some sharpness to this a little bit. Yeah. Make it look more like a rocky foundation. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then what I can do is go from up top here. Duplicate 0, grab Z 0.2. Scale out just a tiny nudge. 1 point, oops. 1.1 or something. I just grab out a little bit too. And then what I want to do is grab these out. Yeah. And then extrude Z. I guess I need to get this just right. It's gonna be about like having to match it to around the water. You see the idea, right? Like we're gonna create like a mountainous little section over top that connects these together a little bit. Just yeah. That's actually that's pretty close. So shade smooth. What I'm gonna do is that's gonna be water, and what I'll probably do is select linked, separate this, and then I'll duplicate this at 0 and scale it out. Oops, not that much, but like there. And I want to like put another one of these behind it. Just like that, more or less. Yeah. And I'll probably like sculpt mode on this too a little bit. So it looks a little different in the background. I kind of like that. As silly as it looks, this entire track is also inspired by dreams. So having it be like a little more open-ended like this, also to tell a story, could be kind of nice. Could be kind of nice. Yeah, this looks fine. Let me, yeah, render just one. Let me grab this up a little bit. Just the tiniest smudge. There you go. That looks good. And then apply. This will be the water. Yeah, just giving some like context to these existing seems kind of important, right? I think that's a huge part of it. So select all of this, grid by shape it, and then just scale like to fit the extents of it. I might have to rotate it to get it to look right in game. And I'll play around with that whenever the time comes. But yeah, just giving some kind of story context or like reason for this to have water here would probably be a good idea. Like I feel like I should model like more natural mountains along the outside too, to give off the right ambience. So I'll probably play with that some too. It's gonna be hard to fit everything in here because the Wii can only take so much shit. But I feel like if there's ever a time for me to try to YOLO that, now would be the time since I've got nothing to lose, right? I've really got nothing to lose. I've already been rejected a million times in some of my tracks. They just don't like for them being too much, so I might as well just do this for me and for if the community likes it. It's worth trying for that at least. I could make these crystal textured instead, actually. Maybe that would look nicer too. Ooh, kinda. Kinda, actually. Actually. What if I make it, yeah, what if I just make it crystals? It looks like there's water coming from these crystals. That's kind of cool. Conceptually, that's kind of an interesting idea. And ties back into this stuff, because I'm moving that entire massive tunnel that has a lot of crystals in it. So maybe just having like more like of this like nighttime ambient feel with some crystals sticking around like this. I think the 3D elements should help the track a lot. I'll just find the right textures for it, and I might play with them a little bit off screen. But yeah, you get the idea, right? We're gonna be playing with this a lot. And I'll probably be doing some of it in private. I just want to show off like or like show off some of the more moving parts, like I was doing for tracks like Wind Fortress lately, because this also motivates me to work on the tracks more. And today I worked a lot, like I think 6-7 hours or something. So I wanna just unwind and chill out after a long day. Um, but yeah, what we're gonna do next, I'm gonna work on some elements for this area too, I think, and I'm gonna find some kind of way to make the outside look more natural. I'll probably add more mountainous textures here, or like more modeled mountains here and there. I think the ending section is totally fine. I think this section is really good, especially since I changed the mud to be over here, and there's no concerns with that anymore. I think it addresses that pretty well. Um, the only section that might be like that I didn't like talk about already is maybe this tunnel section, but we'll have to think of something to do there. If it even needs anything. It's probably like one of the best parts of the track just because it's a longer section after like a bigger cut. There's going to be a lot of interaction that can happen there, and the cars will be really annoying in a good way, I think, for the track. But yeah, I'll think of some stuff to do, especially for this city section. That'll be what we have to tackle next, but it's good to start off, right? I think it's been fun. I think we came up with some pretty good ideas so far, modeled a few things that I really wanted to. I'm going to try to include more ambient effects too throughout the track to make it feel like more of a storytelling track. I had inspiration for the city section to make it look more like, instead of dead, I want to kind of try to incorporate more lighting and make it look more alive. Like have contrast in the, like, it's a nighttime city section. Because the idea is for it to, yeah, look a little dead with the dead trees and stuff, but I also want there to be life in it. Because the bigger part of this for me is going to be symbolic of not giving up. That's what we want to do. I want to really pull everything together, especially for this big finale section where he gets the end and just boom. It's like it's a release, you know. Because I've been in darker spots while working on some of these tracks, and ultimately, if I can help people, that's what this is about. So I think that's where I'm going to wrap today's video up for you guys. Hopefully an hour isn't too long for a video, but I think it's worth trying. If it's too annoying, let me know, and have any feedback below. I'll keep doing these if people want to see longer videos too. And worst case, it's just a one-off or maybe a two-off. I also kind of want to make some content revolving around Melee soon if I can figure out how to do that well, or other things. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite tracks I've worked on, and I really want to realize its full potential to the best of my ability, or at least do what I can to make it more interesting for people. And thanks for watching, guys. It really means the world to me. Seriously, you have no idea how much it means when people follow and subscribe every time they can, or watch the videos and give interaction. It helps a lot in difficult parts of my life. So peace out, guys. Expect more content in the future. It's awesome being around here. Take care.